Jess? Can you come here a sec?
What's up?
Look at this. Why is Yao Ming stalking my birthday party?
What are you talking about?
Really? Oh, he's like right there, back by the trees.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna go to work now, and if you have any more pictures of trees, feel free to call me.
My little girl, Jessica, she was out playing with a friend. They live in a wooded area. I called her friend's parents to tell them that she had to leave, but they told me she left half an hour ago. Well, they're only a 5-minute walk away, so I went looking for her. I started calling her, then I got this ringing in my ears. Then
what?
a thing. It took her.
What do you mean, Thomas?
It took her! All that's left is her clothes! It took my Jessica, and now it's coming for me! I can't sleep. I can't live. Oh, God.
Thomas, calm yourself.
Ah! It's
Sedate
behind
this
you.
idiot.
Ah!
Pick it up, take it. No, take it. Take it, dude. Touch it. No way. That's fine. Should I take it? Take it. Do it. Yeah. What the fuck is that noise?
What is that sound?
What the fuck is that?
Jesus Christ. Should we just get out of here?
What the fuck is that?
Just come to our website, InsideEdition.com. Now the online boogeyman. He's called the Slender Man, but did that haunting character inspire a couple of 12-year-olds to commit a horrific crime? They are accused of stabbing their friend 19 times and leaving her critically injured, but at least alive. Les Trent with the details.
Yeah, these two little girls, 12 years old, took their friend, who was also 12, out into the forest and supposedly stabbed that little girl 19 times and wanted her to die because they wanted to sacrifice her for Slender Man. Now, tell me that ain't some fucked up shit right there.
They're not even teenagers yet, but Morgan Geyser and Anissa Wire now face charges as adults for attempted homicide.
I recognize the young age, but it's still unbelievable.
The girls are accused of stabbing a 12-year-old friend 19 times in the legs, arms, and torso. The young suspects told police they came up with a gruesome plot to kill their friend because of a fictional character called Slender Man. They say the character required them to kill someone before they could become his proxy.
Reports said that the two girls were interested in a website called Creepypasta Wiki, that talks about a mysterious fictional character known as Slender Man.
Two words at the heart of this story may sound strange to a lot of you. The fictional horror character called Slender Man and a website called Creepypasta.
Now, according to the criminal complaint, the girls were convinced Slender Man was real. Today's TMJ4 Michelle Fiore is here to tell us more about this. Michelle.
The accounts of a certain particular entity are some of the most disturbing reports one could ever examine. The encounters with this entity have dated back centuries and have been permanently penned into various historical documents. Each culture or area that encountered this being had its own name for it. The operator, the tall man, even master. Today, it is most commonly known as Slender Man.
Despite his recent exposure in the last years, Slender Man is nothing new. The earliest known reference to him dates back to 9000 BC, when he was featured in cave paintings in the northeast of Brazil. Later depictions of him were wood carvings by German woodcutter Hans Freckenberg. His carvings featured a multi-limbed character thought to be a representation of an evil fairy-type being who lived in the Black Forest that would kill or snare any children who strayed into the forest without their parents' permission.
Meine Großmutter pflegte mir Geschichten erzählen vom großen Mann. Lebte im Wald und pflegte Kinder zu jagen.
More recently, the Slender Man was brought to life again in June 2009, when 2 photographs were sent into the website Something Awful. They were supposedly taken in the mid-80s and showed a group of children with a strange-looking figure lurking in the background.
Slender Man behaves in what might be seen as a passive-aggressive manner, often stalking targets for years at a time before ever attacking.
Slender Man will find interest in a victim for reasons unknown. It would then contact the victim, and if it is a child, it'll present itself as friendly. It would stalk the victim for long amounts of time, causing what is known as slender sickness. And this is where it gets disturbing. Eventually, it would abduct the victim into whatever nearby forest there may be, where they would be killed.
So next time you're in the woods or anywhere near the Slender Man's known location, don't forget to bring lots of company, because if you don't, it might already be waiting there for you.
I am in no way, shape, or form trying to make people believe or disbelieve anything said in this video. You are entitled to your own opinion. This video is made to prove that the myth of Slender Man is fake. You can take the information given to you in this video any way you want. As stated before, you are entitled to your own opinion. Viewer discretion is advised. The Slender Man might just be the most well-known mythical creature to surface in recent years. More and more people discover the myth about him every day. But there's one catch. He's fake. Now that's a bold statement to make. You may wonder how I know this so surely. Well, let me give you a little history lesson.
It all started in the forums of Something Awful. Ironically, Something Awful is actually a comedy website featuring forums, blog entries, articles, and more. But in the year of 2009, this comedy website took a horrific turn. One thread on the site invited users to participate in a Photoshop contest where they took normal images and turned them into paranormal pictures. One user named Eric Knudsen, who went by the handle Vic Surge, took the normal pictures of children and altered them so that the kids were haunted by a tall, shadowy, and long-armed man in the background.
Look at most of the supposed sightings of Slender Man. In most, if not all of the photos, Slender Man has no shadow.
And from that origin point, specifically June 8, 2009, the story of Slender Man grew and grew and grew. It was an open source legend, which means that people would throw other things in and some of the claims might contradict themselves. But one thing is for sure, there were more and more claims. They aggregated as time went on.
Many other groups and individuals are actually responsible for Slender Man's rise in popularity and mystery. I was introduced to the idea of Slender Man by the YouTube web series Marble Hornets. This YouTuber would upload old tapes from his friend's canceled film project and noticed a figure in the background of most of these videos, or this figure following his friend around, stalking him. It unfolds into this giant mystery, which I suggest you check out. I love it.
As entertaining as Marble Hornets may be, the creators actually confirmed that the series are fictional. If you go to the Marble Hornets wiki, you can even see the actors who play the different characters. But what about the old German folklore? True, the old paintings of the so-called Der Ritter and the old tales about Der Grossman might exist, but just like any other tale, it was most likely there to scare children. So there you have it. That's all the evidence I've found so far. Remember, you are entitled to your own opinion, and if you still believe in the Slender Man, that's perfectly fine. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope you enjoyed it. Have a great day.
This is like the fourth time I'm recording this song. And it's like a joke in the first place. I don't know why this computer is taking it so seriously. Okay. Here it is. I'll save you from Slender Man. I'll save you from Nada. I'll save everyone if I can, but I'll get you out first. I gotta save you from Slender Man. I wonder if you can, but man, you are the only man I want anywhere near my bed. So I'll save you from Slender Man.
What is it about the Slender Man that is making people care so much that they're creating so much content about him?
He's scary and people seem to like being scared.
They probably make it up just to, like, make people afraid of it because they're mean.
I like it because it's so scary, yet so fascinating about like the whole mythology stuff about it.
There's mystery behind it because like you don't know if it's real or not. Kind of like Bigfoot.
It's a whole community. People can talk about it together and whatever. I think it's a way to for people to like connect.
Hello there, my name's Shannon and this is Miss Slenderverse. I made this channel because I want to review and vlog different Slender series on YouTube. What is a Slender series, you ask? Is it a bunch of exercise videos designed to help you get into shape like women laughing with salad or being attacked by fruit for some odd reason? Not exactly, unless your idea of exercise is screaming at your computer screen and peeing all over the floor. Yeah, I guess not. No, actually, a Slender series is a video web series based off of the internet phenomenon known as Slender Man.
Lately I've been hearing these strange noises coming from around my house. They're unexplainable. I don't know where they're coming from, and frankly, it's all just been scaring the living shit out of me.
I feel like someone's following me.
The internet is a medium that constantly presents new methods of storytelling.
and makes the artistic landscape a much more immediately experimental place. Sometimes an artist never intends to be deep or meaningful, but instead hopes to make something engaging or slightly interesting, or at the very least fun. What I find amazing about that, though, is that even when the initial intent is not artistic, there are rare moments when the end products unintentionally form a new mass consciousness, one that opens the door for creative expression and, as I've come to realize, takes on the form of one of the biggest experimental art pieces on the internet.
You know, after a while, I came to a conclusion. Slender Man sucks. Yeah, I don't know if there's really a nice... if I were to be nice, I want to kind of say...
The Slender Man isn't an unpopular character in horror web media. An urban legend entity with a very vague and underdeveloped story behind him, the Slender Man would normally be considered by writers and visual artists to be at most an interesting aesthetic concept, with at most two consistent themes, the unknown and the uncanny.
Yeah, a faceless, long-armed thing that may or may not have tentacles and is known to sometimes take people. You know, that's okay as bedtime story to scare children with material, but... looking at the reflection of my television, like, I almost think Slender Man's appeared in it, but yeah, I'm freaking nuts. Anyway, my life could never be that exciting. Oh, I know what's being reflected now. Like, okay. Edmund, you are doing a great job of convincing everyone that you're sane and rational.
I hope you're ready for some more bedtime stories, because Uncle Matt is back.
What is creepypasta? Creepypasta are essentially internet horror stories, passed around on forums and other sites to disturb and frighten readers. The name creepypasta comes from the word copypasta, an internet slang term for a block of text that gets copied and pasted over and over again from website to website. Creepypastas are sometimes supplemented with pictures, audio and/or video footage related to the story, typically with gory, distorted, or otherwise shocking content.
So, as a kid who loved horror stories, I obviously read a lot of creepypasta in my day. I love them because it's basically campfire stories on like a global scale, and I feel like a format like this could yield some really good results.
Here are the 10 freakiest creepypastas ever told.
Number 5, Jeff the Killer. Oh my god, look at the guy! It is unsurprising that when that picture surfaced on the internet, a lot of lore started popping up surrounding it, but nobody actually knows the origin story of that dude.
Jeff, what are you doing? Asked his mother. Jeff looked over to his mother. I couldn't help but... I couldn't help... I couldn't keep smiling, Mommy. It hurt after a while. Now I can smile forever.
In the case of stories that don't work, it's usually just the one really big, huge, obvious, fatal flaw that they go too far. The best horror stories, in my opinion, have just enough creepy elements to unnerve you, but leave you wondering if it could actually be true or not. Especially because the conceit of creepypasta is that they're usually being told as true stories. The subreddit for creepypasta is an in-character subreddit where you can't say like, nice story, good use of adverbs. You have to be like, oh my god, did you ever find the ghost's locket? So all these amateur writers started to see it as their shot at fame. So everyone started trying to up the ante on their stories so that they could have the memorable one. This basically was like an arms race of shock horror or creepy gore. Everybody wanted to have the new Slender Man or Wire Man or Goat Man or Candle Lady. I just made that one up.
Number 3, Suicidal Squidward. Whoo, dogged do I hate this one. Yes, I do hate this one. There's a legend of a missing SpongeBob SquarePants episode wherein Squidward kills himself.
The screen flipped back to Squidward, still sobbing, louder than before, and half body and frame. There was now what appeared to be blood running down his face from his eyes. He put his tentacles down, and his eyes were now done in a realistic style like the others were in the beginning of the episode. They were bleeding, bloodshot and pulsating. He just stared at the screen as if watching the viewer. After about 10 seconds, he started sobbing.
Do it. Do it.
Slenderman versus Death the Killer.
Prepare for the arrival of the faceless king of horror. I'll knock you harder than when you fell on the bathroom floor. Just a prepubescent child who has no meaning of fright. I scare all who happen to spot me in the night. Nothing can match my length. I spit diminishing and dark. I got swarms of arms coming at you, prepared to leave a mark. Emo hair and white hoodie, no class to be found. We're your talent scarred as well because your minds are profound.
You're a pedophile chasing little kids through town. Legend says you kill, but I'm the best killer around. What's with those tentacles? Huh? You're like a living hentai, a photobomb whose only popularity comes from PewDiePie. You're known from a fake document, just look at Marble Hornets. Driving people crazy, no wonder you've never had a duet. You may be called a man, but I'm more killer than you. It's for your face, I'll bleach it, ignite it, give it a redo.
They call me Slenderman because I get all the bitches. See, I'm a man, you're a kid who can't write any distance. You're a ripoff of Dahmer, and he's more effective. Your ass got burnt, bitch. You're literally defective. How the hell are you considered scary? Your balls haven't dropped, and the most action you ever had was at a bus stop. I don't need to try against you. You wouldn't last in my maze. You must be getting claustrophobic. Now taste my static haze.
So, Morgan said, whenever you want. So, like, I finally just had enough and said it now, because I was starting to get a little freaked out. And then Morgan jumped on top of Bella and started stabbing her repeatedly, and that's when I turned around, because I couldn't stand to see that. Okay. And then, the whole time, Peyton was screaming in agony. Saying stuff like, I hate you guys, I'll never forgive you, and I trusted you. Still, and, sorry. Truth be told, I wanted to be locked up so that I couldn't hurt her, but that time has passed, and now I'm in here because we were careless. I knew this would happen. I knew we'd get in trouble.
With winter snow on the ground, Morgan Geyser and Anissa Wire began obsessing over Slenderman. The girls say they wanted to be his proxies.
The girls told police that they plotted for months to kill a friend in order to show their dedication to Slenderman. After the killing, they planned to walk to his mansion in the Nicollet National Forest. They said they invited their intended victim over for a sleepover, and then lured her into the woods the next day to play hide and seek. During the game, the girls got cold feet, before Giza then allegedly attacked and stabbed the victim 19 times, leaving her with wounds to the torso, arms and legs. The victim was later discovered by a cyclist after crawling to a nearby road.
Evidence presented in court shows what was found in Morgan Geyser's bedroom.
On their computers, their cell phones,
Out of the Woods, the interrogation tapes on a special 2020 tonight at 10 Eastern, right here.
Do you think Slenderman is real? Because I think it is. I think it is. He thinks it is. He does not.
I just wanted to tell you guys about a dream I had about Slender Man. I saw him in my house.
Guys, it's no joke. Slenderman is after me, and I can't stop it. Once he's after me, he'll never stop.
I'm convinced that one of these days I'm going to be outside by myself and I sit on my roof and he's just gonna appear out of nowhere and just take me. So if I ever disappear and I'm not online for a while and you don't hear from me, chances are the Slender Man killed me and I'm dead.
Come here. We're gonna have an interview.
Let me go get
no,
tonic.
We're gonna have
my,
a no,
I'm
no.
gonna get tonic for my break.
Come on.
I'm gonna be back.
Do you know what I'm gonna talk about to this camera? I am trying to start a new Google account and a new YouTube so that I can have some kind of way to discuss the fact that my boyfriend, Roger, is obsessed with the Slender Man.
Okay, so it's been about a week since my last video, and I have been doing research into what Slenderman possibly could be. This video is specifically to express the current theory I'm working on, which is the Tulpic theory of Slenderman's existence, in which it's believed that he's just a tulpa.
I turned to the internet, to escape, and that is when I discovered tulpas.
A tulpa is an individual sentient being that can speak and interact with you. They will appear just as a normal person and seem as if they are completely real, even forming their own thoughts. But in reality, they only exist inside of your mind and cannot affect the outside world at all. In other words, a tulpa is a self-induced hallucination. You said something about the Topa effect, and I tried to look it up. I spelled it a dozen different ways to find out what the Topa effect was. And he said that it was something related to Buddhism, and it's one of those things where if you believe in it, that it becomes real, and that's what he's afraid of. And he told me when he was little that
A little alien man rode by him.
Exactly. He told me when he was little that he'd seen ghosts, and I suspect that this Topa effect thing is that he's worried that if he talks about the Slender Man, that the Slender Man will exist.
Hello, my name is Howard Paulus. I'm a paranormal researcher in Ohio. I'm also a pagan. Recently, my friend's son has been experiencing nightmares of a tall, slender man in black. Maybe it scares them. It preys on fear. It preys on their emotional thought for fear, because the brain is a very powerful tool in that matter. And what I think is going on is they get so scared. They think, oh, Slenderman is black. Tall guy. It just scares them so much that it allows them to take them in the night or whenever they're there. Personally, that's my theory. That's not what someone else may have. Or
Just got this feeling in my gut that it's Slender Man. This is a real gun.
I'm going to spit out blood. Shit.
Okay, so I found this quiz. Do you have a slender sickness? And we're going to do it. Okay, so do I experience nosebleeds often? No, I don't, but sometimes I do have nosebleeds, so I guess I will put yes. Overall, do you believe that you are being stalked by the Slender Man or have a slender sickness? Yes, I do. You have a slender sickness? I knew it. I knew it.
So, it's not ketchup, as people think. It's no blood. My head hurts. People think it's fake. This is all real. Only show's fake.
Hey guys, this is a video on how to become one of Slenderman's proxies. A how-to. It's how to become one of Slendy's proxies.
We've been noticing a trend. Lots of teenagers and pretty young kids are saying they want to be proxies. Let me tell you what being a proxy is really like. You have to die.
You may feel him, like, touch you. Take his hands, like, put it on your shoulder, or his tentacles wrap around your limbs, like your arms, legs, and your throat. That's because he's investigating you. He's very, very, very picky when it comes to his proxies. Step 7, if he finds you fit, he will mark you.
He literally brands you. He'll wrap one of those tendrils around whatever body part he's going to put that mark on. And it eats into your skin. You're left with a black mark. And it's not a lovely little tattoo. I've got 3 of those and they don't hurt as bad. Trust me, a needle is nothing compared to this. It doesn't just mark your body. It marks your mind and your soul. It gives him complete control over you, whether you want him to have it or not.
I'm talking to my computer. It's 5 in the morning. I'm totally alone. I'm talking to my computer. I love Roger. I don't know if I'll ever stop loving Roger. I don't know if we can keep being together.
What is this?
I don't know.
You don't know.
Well, I haven't watched it yet, so I don't know.
It's Slender Man shit. I thought you didn't like this shit.
I just wanted to see why you were so into it.
I'm not into it.
So the other day I was just sitting.
Okay, I'll just turn it off.
Yeah.
I think they're broken me.
Rocky's waiting for you.
Once this child was missing, oh for so long, but the Slender Man took him, and then everything went wrong. Now a decaying entity, he resembles much like Kate. If you see him, you better flee, 'cause he has met the same fate.
Charlie, oh Charlie, what have you become? No, it can't be undone. Now serving as a proxy. Charlie, oh Charlie,
know what you're probably thinking. Slender Man is a work of fiction. It was thought up by some guy called Victor Surge on a something awful Photoshop contest. He photoshopped a tall, creepy-looking man into some old photographs and gave the pictures a scary caption, and a meme was born. I want to explore the idea that, whilst fictional in origin, the Slender Man has become a very real entity. The warning signs have been all around us for some time now. It is only when we connect the dots that we see the full picture. In occult terms, Slender Man could be seen as an egregore. An egregore is the idea that if a large group of people think about the same thing at the same time, those thoughts have the power to manifest themselves as reality. In theory, a group of people could summon a spirit entity simply by believing in it strongly enough and willing it into existence. Now think back to the height of Slender Man's popularity. There were hundreds of videos, photos, stories, even video games about him. Not everybody who heard about Slender Man knew about his Photoshop origins. Some even thought that he genuinely existed. Somewhere along the way, the image of Slender Man got embedded in a collective consciousness. It was only a matter of time before he started to make the transformation from imagination to reality. What this ritual stabbing achieved was to solidify the idea in people's minds that Slender Man could cause genuine harm to people in the real world. Just like in the Slender Man mythos, he was able to infect and influence the minds of 2 children and persuade them to commit acts of horrendous violence. 1 month later, a local Cincinnati news station reported the story of a 13-year-old girl who dressed up in a white mask and black hoodie, then stabbed her mother with a kitchen knife when she came home. The mother said the girl was obsessed with Slender Man. The outfit she wore sounds very similar to the outfit worn by Tim in the Marble Hornets Slender Man videos. And these are just the cases that get reported. How many more terrible acts have been carried out by children influenced by Slender Man? A recent study shows there has been a massive increase in violent attacks carried out by children against their own parents. These attacks started to become more frequent right around the time that the first Slender Man stabbing occurred. It is very possible that the year 2014 was the beginning of Slender Man's real-world manifestation. Perhaps if we had spotted the warning signs then, we could have stopped it, but as I will show, it is far too late now.
Prophecy 43 Part 2. Who do you choose to be your potter? I, Yahweh, or Harry Potter? Since when does the servant rule the master? You do not even hear my still small voice when I warn of the dangers of sorcery and demonic possessions through what your eyes see and your ears hear. Because of this, your children are becoming possessed through the films, books, and video games that are a steady diet of occult, sorcery, demonism, Satanism, and shamanism. You are training your children up to be warlocks, shamans, witches, and Satanists. Oh, what a price you will pay when your own children turn on you with evil spirits that will make you wonder, where did your children go? You will look at them with eyes of wonder, for your innocent babes will be possessed with every kind of evil spirit. They realize that witchcraft is a sin, and yet your own airwaves promote this, even to the children through sitcoms. Does not my word say, suffer a witch to be burned in hell and the lake of fire? They shall burn after they die if they do not repent. They shall become possessed. They shall turn on you in rebellion in ways you never dreamed of. Parents, you are responsible for feeding your children food, both physical and spiritual food. You don't feed your children poison, so why would you allow Satan to feed your children poison? Poison to your soul and your children's mind, body, spirit, and soul.
Alright, we got the Slender Man. The fucking Slender Man. This Slender Man is not real. Okay, let's get that out of the way. Slender Man's not real. What if he was, though? What if that motherfucker was real? What if he was out in the woods in a suit, no face? I would never go in the woods. I don't go in the fucking woods anyway. Well, 2 little girls thought it was real, okay? These 2 little girls thought it was real. They take their friend out in the woods. They planned this for months, okay? They planned this shit for months. They wanted to live in Slender Man's mansion, Okay, apparently Slender Man have a mansion. Now, I didn't think, I was like, why would Slender Man have a mansion? But if you think about it, Slender Man does wear a suit all the time. So it kind of makes sense that he would have a mansion. He's probably loaded. I mean, why else he got a suit on? Where do they even read that shit at? You know, on some message board somewhere, some fucking nerd typed all that shit up. They ought to arrest that fucking nerd. They ought to arrest him for fucking whatever, something. He probably typed some shit up. If you sacrifice someone to a human to Slender Man, there's probably a whole bunch of people that believe he's real. There's probably a cult of shit. Oh my God. The more I think about it, the more it just makes me want to fucking jump off his deck right here and just break my fucking neck. Because it's madness.
Oh my God, what is this? Okay, so I hadn't looked up Slender Man in such a long time. And then I see this. Slender Man stabbing, survivor's remarkable recovery, Nightline, ABC News. What and what are you talking about?
Hi, this is Danger Man, the urban superhero, and this is another Danger Man moment. God, I wanted to share this with you guys because this story just rocked me, literally rocked me, and broke my heart.
You talk about some nutty fucking shit. God damn, how long did these motherfucking kids plan this shit? How long did they think about it before they started planning to murder somebody? I mean, God damn, how is Slender Man that big of a deal? Who the fuck is obsessed with Slender Man? Jesus fucking Christ. I don't know what to say. And now we're going to have fucking Glenn Beck and all these fucking losers saying, see, video games make it. Even though there's more to Slender Man than a game, but I guarantee you they're going to target the game. They're going to turn it around and try to make it seem like games are bad like they always fucking do. It's always the game's fault.
Hey guys, something recently happened in the news and I feel the need to talk about it. It's your boy Jordy Jordan, and if you could please like this video. There's a lot of people still throwing dislikes on my videos for prior things that happened, so let's go and drown them out. Sacrificing your friend to the Slender Man, and they were dead serious. It wasn't like they got caught before they did it. No. These bitches, they stabbed her 19 times. Somehow she lived. Some amazing state-of-the-art miracle medical advice made this child live. She got stabbed 19 times for Slender Man. And she goes on the record to saying that Slender Man is the leader of creepypasta. And the big debate here, there's two big debates. One is, should we take down creepypasta?
We believe that you should not blame creepypasta for this stuff. Yes, it could be part of the reason, but it doesn't mean that they went straightly to creepypasta and say, oh, hey, let's go kill some children.
They chose to do this. Creepypasta didn't direct tell them, hey, you should go kill a person like I did. No, it's a story. And stories, not always real.
People like this give us horror fans a bad reputation. It's like we're all like this. No. I mean, I have to admit, I may have had some homicidal thoughts, but one thing that keeps me from going out on those urges is I'm terrified of prison. First of all, you basically have no freedom, and I will look fugly in orange. Orange is not my color. Orange is not the new black. And I love my phone and the internet too much.
Where's the parenting? I recall when Kev, my youngest son, was growing, at a very early age, I would talk to him about the difference between reality and make-believe, the fantasy world of pretend and the real world of life. Whether it was nursery rhymes, bedtime stories, and moving on to cartoons, video games, television shows, and movies, I would question Kev. I would make sure he knew the difference between what he read or saw in those mediums and his day-to-day existence in the world of the living.
Every day I tell parents, watch your kids, talk to your kids, find out what they're doing, find out who they're visiting on the internet, okay? You're not that busy where you can't take this time. These are your children, okay? Take time to be nosy.
Now, I wouldn't exactly blame the parenting because there could be mentality problems. You also have to think of their mental state-wise, what they found online, in libraries, their group of friends over peer pressure. It could be all that. So we want to make that clear that we're not blaming the parenting on this, but we're blaming what could possibly have been in their minds or their lives.
These chicks need help. They need to go get themselves a psychiatrist in order to function properly. I should know. You're talking to the chick that tried to kill herself twice. And the second reason was a fucking stupid reason. It was... ugh. Okay?
Alright, let's talk about the Slender Man stabbing. This is about as fabricated as the Slender Man himself. Story and all, this is just another BS story that they're filling the news up with.
Having just told her mother, her friends did this to her.
They had run away and the police hadn't...
And you can tell these people right here 100% crisis actors. You can see it on their face, the way they look at each other, the way they look at the camera. It's 100% fake.
They're trying to morally corrupt you. They're trying to change your humanity, your sense of realism. 12-year-old girls don't conspire. You see, even if they do get the thought and they're joking around, well, you know what happens? Dinner time comes and they go out with their family. They go out to dinner. They go to the beach. They have birthday parties. They play with their dolls. They don't conspire for 2-3 fucking months to kill another child. Okay, they're 12 years old. These things do not happen.
Neither girl puts up a fight, taken into
And I
custody.
want you to know this one thing right here, okay? Just know this. These so-called suspects is in purple, okay? Purple, red, and blue. Okay? So-called royalty color is purple. Why they have purple handcuff on, people? You tell me. I'm going to break that down
They would soon be
at the
questioned.
end of the video.
Two parents were about to ask their daughter what happened to.
And you see the mom is also in purple, okay? The mom is in purple. This dad right here got a purple band on the hand. What's going on with all these purple?
The police are working in conjunction with the New World Order. It's a satanic, demonic entity that controls your fucking government. It always has. It always will.
And this is what they're selling the people right here, because later on they're going to have a movie or TV series about this same Slender Man. Mark my word, okay?
The Slender guy doesn't exist. You can accept that, right? Yeah, you can fucking accept that, but you can't accept what I'm telling you. All right. This story's a bullshit story. And on that note, I'm done and done.
A documentary called Beware the Slender Man looks deeper into the character and the crime. It was shot over 18 months. The film will premiere at South by Southwest in Austin, Texas in March.
And this is your first look at the trailer that was just released by HBO.
The palest man, the blackest suit, bigger than the tallest brute. Fear the man, the Slender Man, for he can do what no one can.
Came upon a 12-year-old female. She appears to be stabbed. She appears to be what? Stabbed.
Wire and Geyser are accused of stabbing the friend and leaving her for dead.
Police say the suspects were inspired by a character on a website.
Slender Man, a faceless ghoul.
We never thought she could possibly believe that it was real.
Anisha told me we had to. She said that he'd kill our families. Who's he? A man. He can be anywhere from 6 feet to 14 feet tall. He doesn't have a face. His skin is white.
She needed to prove that Slender Man existed and would be able to do that by killing somebody.
You forget how much it sucks to be a kid.
They don't know how to differentiate between fantasy and reality.
People are captivated by Slender Man. That's what I call power.
To believe in the boogeyman isn't that hard, and they believed it was real.
She lifts up her jacket and shows me the handle of a knife.
What were you thinking?
Dear God, this is really happening.
Fuck everything about this movie. Just fuck it. It's a week later and I'm still fucking livid. I can't put into words how much I fucking hated this movie. From a really somber piece about these two mentally ill girls who nearly killed another girl, it turns into this obnoxious montage of assorted clips from YouTube. It's the lowest common denominator to blame the internet, blame the media, blame etc. It's a dated argument, and it's just so exploitative and disrespectful to take two mentally ill young girls and their families and use them to push a fucking agenda like that. It's so disgusting and so distasteful, and I still have just a bad taste in my mouth from watching this movie.
See up in the
all right.
screen, they're full.
It's live. Hi, everyone.
Oh my God.
Hello.
Every single HBO show, for some reason, they have this guy that's like way too intense. Like he's and now. All right.
We're trying to get Lee from Whispered Faith in here, but his computer's breaking, so.
In all seriousness, yes, people were stabbed.
Yes, and it was terrible.
Oh yeah, this is a horrible circumstance. So like we're not really.
Oh shit, there's mine! Drink to it!
Hey Adam, I just saw you on camera.
You see, that was the Slender Man.
What? There was at least like a minute and a half of your footage in there.
I hope they put a credit for me as like perpetrator, Adam Roster. You don't treat people who make stuff like we do as enablers.
Right.
Please do not. We are making art. This is fun for us. This has nothing to do with enabling people to feel out their crazy fantasies of murder.
Right.
Like, totally
if
not.
anything, for me, personally, it's an outlet for me to let that stuff out because obviously I have my own issues, as we've all known, pretty vocal about it. It's my outlet. So don't try to ruin somebody's outlet because you feel that it's the destruction of society.
Yeah, because it's an easy thing to point a finger at.
Right.
Easy thing to spin.
Here.
Disgusting. I still, ugh.
Fans of internet memes rejoice. A Slender Man film is currently in development. The figure abducting children will now get the big screen treatment with a script reportedly being written by David Burke for Screen Gems, a division of Sony Pictures Entertainment.
Why would you do that?
Tusok.
No, there.
Why are you even in the woods?
Slender Man. It moves you right. Like a last little stinger or something. I like that they acknowledge that for some reason he only affects girls. I think that's really interesting. They're the only ones who get sucked into this. You know, I wish it had more of the ring quality to it, where it seemed to have more of an actual story. You know what? It maybe seems a little bit like a student film of promise, although this guy's made a lot of movies at this point. He should be beyond the student film level. Who wants to pay to sit through a student film? So what'd you think? Write your thoughts down below. Thank you for watching with me as always, and you can check out some more videos right now.
Do you ever see things that aren't there? I've seen him in real life. He wants us to kill someone that doesn't believe in him. He'll kill our families if we don't. It's time. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Terror in the Woods, Sunday at 8, only on Lifetime.
Tell us more about this movie and what it's about.
Well, Terror in the Woods is a story based on true events about two girls who get really interested in a creepy internet character, and as a sacrifice, they attack their best friend. And I'm the attacker.
That sounds like a very crazy movie. What made you want to do a role like this?
Well, reading over the script when I got the audition, I really was like, wow, this character has some depth. She was schizophrenic, and she really believed what she was doing was right. So I guess it drew me to her because she had layers of a normal girl, but also a girl that needed help.
I played the victim because these two girls, they thought the suzerain wanted them to show their loyalty by stabbing their best friend.
Wow.
And I played that character, and it was really incredible to tell that story.
And this is based on a true story.
It is inspired by one.
Inspired by a true story. You became really good friends with the cast members. That girl that the story is inspired by, she also was best friends with the girls who did that to her.
Yeah,
That's tough.
It was really, really crazy. I'm only 11 playing a 12-year-old character who got stabbed, and that's kind of hard. I had to stay crying that whole time. And my friends, there was a tree, and they were just sitting on it. We were like 3 feet away from each other. And Ella, she was the one who didn't do the stabbing, the friend. She was just standing there, literally having a panic attack. And then there's me with stab wounds all over me, crying and screaming. And then Caitlin, which was the most creepy part, who was really Sophie, she was just standing there staring. And it was really, really creepy just to see my best friends looking like that.
It just felt so real, didn't it?
All that was in my head when my best friend was literally raising scissors above my head was, this happened to someone. This is not fake.
Did you get to meet any of the people that were actually involved?
No.
No. Would you have wanted to?
I don't know. I think maybe I would have liked to talk to Caitlin, and I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, Morgan Geyser.
Right. We'll call her Caitlin for now.
Yeah.
Sophie, thank you so much. You are a wonderful person. It was so fun to talk to you. Come back anytime to talk about anything you want. We wish you the best of luck. Have fun on your tour. And we will see you next time. So thanks.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Have a great day.
Hands and feet shackled, 13-year-old Morgan Geyser fidgets as psychiatrists testify about her rare early-onset schizophrenia.
Well, somebody with severe schizophrenia is going to predictably do poorly in the criminal justice system, and we have hundreds of examples of that.
I've got to jump ahead, and I need Judy and Wendy alongside of me here, because here's the deal. You two, did you read what Morgan said to the police? You both are clinical psychologists. This girl, Morgan, had visual hallucinations that Slender Man visited her, that he put radiation into her body, then commanded her to do things. What do we call that? That has a name. That has a name, right? That's a delusion with visual hallucinations in a 12-year-old. That is profound mental illness. Yes. Why didn't somebody notice Dr. this? Drew, I'm going to disagree with you How there. could you disagree with that? All children have big, wild, huge imaginations. With Look, radiation, radiating thoughts into my head. Listen. How does a 12-year-old even think of that kind of thing unless they're having delusions? No, but the fact that she was having her delusions around horror and around evil and around blood may have to do with what kind of conditioning her parents put into or the exposure that she had on the internet. My own hallucinations at that age were that my Ken doll was going to come and visit me at night. And that was a happy thought, okay? But these kids are having a kind of big imagination that's very normal for this age group. 12. The question is, where is that line between reality and fantasy? She lost it because she was delusional and hallucinatory. She's Judy, a child, Dr. back Drew. me up on. She's 12. Judy, back me up on this.
It's time for Wild About Trial, where we break down some of the biggest news stories from around the country. And today we're joined by attorneys Jesse Weber and Misty Maris. As always, thanks for being here.
Misty, there is no one doubting that these girls are guilty of what they did. They planned a heinous stabbing of a young girl who they lured her into the woods and stabbed her 19 times. This case is about two things. What should their punishment be, and what court will this be heard in? This is not about anything else.
Insanity is a viable defense for both defendants, and it will be raised at trial. These girls need medical treatment. They need to be rehabilitated.
Misty, Jesse, thank you so much for your insight into these cases. We'll be sure to follow them as they move forward. You can go to our website or wildabouttrial.com.
Melissa Westendorf, Westendorf.
When did you meet with Anissa in person?
I met with her on September 20th in 2016. There are a lot of factors that go into this. First of all, she was 12, right? And so she was young, and she was looking at the Slender Man, or Creepypasta is the wiki that it's on, website. And she was looking at this website, and this website looks real, right? I mean, it has stories, it has clippings, it has articles that a 12-year-old might have difficulty distinguishing between what's real and not real. There can be things on the internet that are difficult for kids to understand are not real. I mean, adults sometimes have problems with it, right? I mean, we hear all sorts of stuff about fake news and articles that aren't real. I think her father remarked that early on, she said, "How could my brain let me do this?"
Now, a lot of tulpamancers whose friends or family know about their tulpas may be familiar with the accusation of, quote, "you need to see a psychiatrist." Well, about a year ago, that's exactly what I did. My parents finally decided that my antics were not just caused by the influence of others, but rather rooted in severe mental illness. They found out I had a boyfriend with whom I had been having a relationship with for almost a year. But of course, deep down, I'm straight and just confused. Well, a short time before this happened, my parents found an old blog of mine and discovered I had tulpas. So this became the perfect scapegoat. I had created a tulpa and, in effect, given myself schizophrenia. I vividly remember the appointment. My father, in a very solemn and respectful tone, explained that I was part of an online community that was dedicated to creating, in his words, imaginary friends, but ones you hallucinate and hear voices in your head with. That I had been acting defiant lately, and that they suspected that this was the cause. So after my dad said this, they gave me a chance to speak. I explained why I got into tulpamancy and why it's still a part of my life. I mentioned that my father was in the military. Well, growing up, one of my biggest struggles was making friends. As an Air Force brat, moving every year did not help my case. Shortly after turning 15, I moved from Mississippi to Hawaii and struggled to make the cultural and social transition. This is when I discovered tulpas. Because a tulpa would share the same brain and body as me, creating one would end the cycle that I was in that involved, building a few shallow relationships only to move away and abandon them at the end of the year. So immediately after discovering tulpas, I decided to create one. 2 months of daily meditation later, and Ari became a part of my life. In short, she's pretty great. For some reason, Ari has interpersonal skills that greatly exceed my own. And over the years, her company has helped me build many relationships outside of my mind. Ari has been able to maintain the health and well-being of this body at a level much higher than if it were at my sole command. Arguably, it's thanks to her that I'm even alive today. Her wit during a suicide attempt several years ago managed to preserve both of our lives. But that's a story for another video. Point is, it's been nearly 4 years since her conception, and I look forward to sharing many more with her. So in response to this, my psychiatrist just nods, looking back at my parents. My dad, a little flustered, he managed to eke out that he was concerned that this might be dangerous to my mental health, that I might be giving myself schizophrenia or something. In psychiatry, the main concern is functioning. And when you explain how any behavior, be it tulpamancy or something else, helps you function, it's counterproductive to discourage it. My psychiatrist, however, went a totally different route that I did not expect. She systematically destroyed the notion that it's even possible to give yourself schizophrenia, explaining that it's a hereditary condition with genetic requirements. You either develop it or you don't. After some more discussion, my psychiatrist had my parents leave so we could talk in private. She asked if my parents were conservative and dedicated Christians, and I explained how my father was raised by a Lutheran minister. She chuckled and then confessed that my experience with tulpas is no different from the God my parents pray to every night.
I heard this mentioned a few times since our trial started. The belief in Santa Claus. No, Santa Claus is not real. How is that different from a bizarre delusion?
So, that's a culturally accepted, I guess you could call it's not a delusion, but it's a culturally accepted norm that we have in society, right? It's different in that it's culturally accepted. It becomes challenged by the person themselves, by the child themselves, and they outgrow that particular piece. She still has a piece of it. And then she goes on to describe, well, if he is real, he must be the devil. And she talked about now having a belief in God, and that, that those are her beliefs, and that if Slender Man is real, he must be the devil. At one point, I asked her, in the end, you didn't prove either way whether or not Slender Man was real or not real. And she looked at me and she goes, exactly.
Okay, let's go over a couple of things. It seems like there's been 100 YouTube channels that have cropped up since we started posting videos. I'm not sure if posting videos is contributing to a larger problem. There's so much that I don't understand or know about what's happening, and I've been having a hard time I don't even know how to do this anymore. It's hard to find logic in any of it.
Slender Man, just want someone to hold my hand. Sick and tired of being on my own. Every time I drop by, beauty par starts to scream and cry. Can't they see I just want a friend? Just 'cause I don't have a face doesn't mean I should feel so out of place when I'm seen. I don't mean harm, I want love to open up. But no, they see me standing and they run.
Someone's always watching me. Someone's always there. When I'm sleeping, he just waits and he stares. Someone's
the darkest corner of my room. He's tall and wears a suit of black, dressed like the perfect groom. Where are you going? Why won't you stay? They might be scared of you, but I just want to play. He has